This is Apple recognizing that it needs to weave artificial intelligence more deeply, more intelligently into its products, into the iPhone. It already has this really long-standing, deep, very lucrative relationship with Google in terms of putting Google search, making it very paramount on the iPhone. This is, let's take it to the next step. Let's take this relationship further, and let's weave your generative AI tools into what we have on the iPhone and make it better and make it smarter. Let's leverage this relationship. Also, it's important to note that Apple is seen as a laggard when it comes to artificial intelligence. Everyone's got something big. Every big tech company has a big AI story. Apple is seen as a laggard in that.
And this is an admission in some way that Apple can't do it by themselves.
That's right. You don't get
so why would the stock be higher?
You don't get to build this from scratch. I think there's a few things at work here. One is regulators are already looking at the relationship between Apple and Google. They don't like aspects of it. DOJ is looking hard at that. The FTC is already looking at the relationship between Microsoft and OpenAI. The concern is there's innovation happening in artificial intelligence, and if you have combinations between the biggest players in tech, the most powerful players in tech, is that going to thwart innovation, and is it going to thwart competition?
So how do we think the regulators might look at something like this?
I think they need to figure out whether the talks are going to come to fruition, first and foremost. We're definitely sending out feelers throughout the Bloomberg organization to figure out what the next step is and to assess what the argument would be for and against if you're a regulator. But if you're a regulator, think about it. If you're at the DOJ, if you're at the FTC, do you want to see more concentration, more collaboration between the two most powerful companies in the world? Or do you want to say to them, Apple, go and build your own?
How long does this relationship last? If Apple finds a better partner, could they drop Google like a hot rock?
We know, as we reported, Apple held talks with OpenAI. We also know that the talks that are existing now are the ones between Apple and Google. Could you kind of rekindle something? Could you start something up with somebody else? I think the sky's the limit here. Apple needs something big. They need something new. They need the iPhone has been around, as we all know, since 2007. They need a big new thing. They need that next big thing. Remember, they were working on a car. As Bloomberg told you a couple of months ago, that project, it's actually just been a few weeks, that project is now being killed. They're going to redeploy some of those people into AI initiatives, but they need that next big thing. And weaving AI into your iPhone could be one of them.
So Apple also has a developer conference, I believe in June, Tom, and a lot of folks think that maybe that's the time Tim Cook's going to get up on stage and say, here's our AI play. Is this part of it? It seems like, as John was suggesting, this is kind of admission, we don't have that big, oh wow moment for you. How are you thinking about that?
It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of people. It takes a lot of resources to build these large language models upon which generative AI tools are based, right? OpenAI was not created yesterday. They've made a big splash in the last year, but that was years in the making. Microsoft's relationship with OpenAI works to their advantage. Google has been working on its own generative AI technology for many, many years. That was not top priority for Apple for all this time. They've been working on the phone, they've been working on the watch, they've been working on the car, they've been working on all these things that we use and are very lucrative for them and are making them one of the biggest and most valuable companies in the world. But this was not the biggest area of concentration for them, at least not as much as other companies. It takes time. My sense is you can, even if you haven't nailed down all of your details on a relationship like this, you can still use your developer conference to drop hints, to say, here's what's coming down the pike, here's a taste of it, even if it's not completely. They like to have stuff that's pretty baked before they start talking about it publicly. So I don't think they're going to jump the gun here, but it would be nice to have this in your back pocket to at least drop some hints.
Okay, so what does it do to my iPhone, and do I now have to go out and buy a new model iPhone? What does it do for sales, and what's the practical impact for an iPhone user?
Look, we're already using our phones for virtually everything throughout the day. These are like, it's the one thing that you would take if you're running out of the house with a fire, right? It would be things like creating images, writing essays, the things that we are already using tools like OpenAI for. Could you more easily incorporate those into your iPhone so that you don't have to fire up the laptop, so that you don't have to delve into a different app? Could you weave this into the tools that you already have right on your phone?